Now, there's some things that I honestly think that certain sports can pick up from other ones. Like, let's take, for example, AFL. Now, if AFL took some of the NHL's rules, like, for one, the enforcer rule, where, the extra person comes on and can just go for it. The other rule I'd really like to see is if two people fight, the only penalty they receive is 5 minutes in the sin bin. Now, that to me would be a utopian world, and that's why I decided to review NHL 2K8 on the shocker PS3. No, I didn't have to install, so all you foreign people can shut up. It's one of the NHL 2K8 is really one of those things. It's not the arcade one that I usually like to play, like the hits and that of this kind of world, but it's much more realistic. You can do a full career mode in it. It's the usual kind of hockey fare. The difference is this one, they've changed it with some of the stick controls that you can use. The right stick now can be used to pass and to shoot and stuff like that, and it's just not there yet. It's just that level of complexity that is just missing it. So you'll probably find that you'll go straight back to using just normal, X square, whatever buttons to pass and shoot and stuff like that. It lacks the polish, but other than that, the game's fairly polished. I mean, the season mode's fairly good. The franchise mode is fantastic. You just start your own team and stuff like that and go from there. You can change the style of play, so you can have it, default kind of semi-realistic. You can have simulation, which is full-on, as by the books. You can have arcade, which is a lot more that kind of pushing and shoving. So you can actually change the settings of how the game's rules come into effect. You can change how strict the referees are, all that kind of thing. So you can make your own style of game. So I think that's one thing that NHL has going for it. The fact that if you get bored of, say, season mode or quick games or whatever the case may be, you can make your own game mode. So I think that's probably the biggest thing in its credit at the moment. But other than that, if you're not a hockey fan, this isn't going to exactly convert you. And to be honest, EA's version, NHL 08, is probably a better game. But I'll review that in a later ep, hopefully. So I'll get down to some scores now. The visuals on this aren't really that good at all. The crowds look okay. The glass, when you hit someone in the glass, that looks pretty funky when the actual glass and the fence wobbles. But the actual player models, I don't know, they look a bit, I don't know, this is going to sound weird, but it looks like they're on chemo or something. They've got shrunken, shriveled faces, they're white, they seriously look like they've been on a hunger strike or something. It really, I don't know, it's like Gandhi's hockey or something, I don't know. But the visuals on this are really, I don't know, not that great. Everything else looks fine. The actual movements and stuff and a bit of the visual flair is okay. So it's enough to be passable, but the visuals are only going to get a 5.5 out of 10. Now, the sound is fantastic. The soundtrack for hockey games has consistently been good, and this one is just as good. There's some great songs on there. The actual sound of the puck is pretty good. The commentary is not too bad. So as far as the sound goes, it really makes you feel the chants in the background. You actually raise the individual levels of everything. So if you want the chants to be louder, you can raise them up a little bit. If you want the commentaries to be louder, you can raise them up. If you want the announcer for the actual stadium to be louder, you can raise his volume up. So you can make the volume whatever you want of it. And keep in mind as well, I was listening it through Dolby, and you could hear, if the puck went sliding behind me, I could hear it go whoosh over my head. So it was pretty good like that. So the sound is actually quite good. So I'm going to give the sound on this one a 7 out of 10. Now, the gameplay, as I say, if you're not a hockey fan, this is so not for you. The great thing is how you can actually customise how you want to play it. You can play what they call the outside rink mode, which is probably a lot more lax with the rules. There's no glass, none of that. It's just like an outside rink, what can I say? So you can. The thing that I like about it is the way the game lets you choose how you're going to play. So for that one, they get a big bonus. Everything else, the season mode's fairly in depth, fairly full on too. So I mean, it's 32 games, rah 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 rah. And I mean, if you're not a hockey fan, this isn't going to convert you anyway. So the gameplay, I'm going to give a 7 out of 10. So it's going to give us about a 6, maybe a 6.5. I think I might push it up to, just because I am a hockey fan, and we're getting to the point where hockey games are starting to get sports games are really need to step up. I mean, we've done this simulation thing for so long now. They really need to step up and take notice. And I think NHL 2K8 fails to do that. I'll have to get on. I'll give you a score on 08 when I get around to it. But for now, 2K8 hockey fans need only apply. This isn't really for everyone. That said, there's nothing better than fighting and only getting a 5-minute penalty on the bench. That is the best rule in sports ever. Ever.